Let's talk about a couple Bears here. So a guy you're concerned about, Adam, is David Montgomery. Dave, a guy you're concerned about is Darnell Mooney. So Adam, first word to you about the Bears running back.
Yeah, you can't really sit Montgomery. He's just so good, and he's going to get almost all of the carries. If they score a rushing touchdown, it's by a running back. It's almost certainly going to be him. But, man, the Ravens' run defense has been really good this year. Only Dalvin Cook has had a huge game. And then what really concerns me is, well, where's the backup plan? Okay, so what about the passing game? No Tariq Cohen, all that stuff. This stuff's great. Well, Justin Fields is not throwing to his running backs. He has started 7 games. Only once has a running back had more than 21 receiving yards. You're not getting a lot of catches in those games either. So I think total yardage could be difficult for David Montgomery. Got a chance to score, but this is not a good matchup, and he's in that situation where he's got this mobile quarterback who's just not throwing to his running backs.
No, he's not, but I still think that Montgomery's going to get enough work to warrant as at least a high-end number 2 fantasy running back, if not a low-end RB1. So I'm okay with Montgomery in the matchup, especially coming off the bye week and that Bears offensive line getting a little bit stronger. And we've seen some pretty serious flaws in this Ravens pass defense, and I'm not sure if they've got somebody that can handle the speed of Darnell Mooney, and we saw it as recently as their last game against Pittsburgh. Justin Fields threw over 30% of his passes 20-plus yards downfield. He's trying to attack downfield, and the more this offensive line gels, the more time he'll have to go ahead and attack downfield. So I kind of like Darnell Mooney to come through as at least a high-end flex, but we also know that he's got a lot of games on the docket this year with 12 or fewer PPR points. I think we'd have to expect more than that to put him in that top 24 range.
Yep, and we'll find out again the status of Allen Robinson, who's missed practice each of the last 2 days. Haven't seen a Friday practice report yet, but if Robinson's out, maybe more targets for Darnell Mooney, maybe more opportunities for David Montgomery in the passing game. Montgomery, as Adam said, very hard to sit him. Hopefully, as Dave said, the offensive line gets healthier. We get some better performances we get a stronger performance from Montgomery than we saw against Pittsburgh, where he did get over 80% of the touches. And for Mooney, just continues to be the go-to guy for Justin Fields. Did have 2 touchdowns in that game against the Steelers in week number 9. Last guy we're going to talk about here is D'Onta Foreman, who I think we're somewhat excited about. We're going to find out the status of Jeremy McNichols. But Foreman should be the lead guy for the Titans. I mean, you can't watch Adrian Peterson run and say, hey, let's give the 36-year-old guy some more work, when this guy, I know, has been a struggle for his career, especially when he had the Achilles tear, but still should get an opportunity to be the lead running back for the Titans in a matchup against his former team. We love that revenge game narrative. So hopefully D'Onta Foreman comes out and gives you the opportunity to trust him as a flex play. But Dave, if you had to pick between Foreman and Peterson, which one do you think will have the better performance by the end of week number 11?
I think it's going to be Foreman, but it doesn't mean that I really feel excited to start him. Last time we saw him play was against New Orleans in that tough run defense, and they held him to 2.7 yards per carry, and he had a really nice catch and run in the game. Maybe that means that he takes over some passing downs work if Jeremy McNichols doesn't play. And I almost think that that's really what we're looking for here, is that if McNichols plays, it's going to be a 3-headed monster. You're not going to feel good about starting either guy, especially when Adrian Peterson plays as many or more snaps inside the 5 than D'Onta Foreman does. But if McNichols is out of there, how much are they really going to trust Adrian Peterson in a passing downs role? Maybe that opens the door to Foreman getting that work too. Now I'm kind of interested in him as a flex. So really that's what it takes for me.
All right, so we'll find out McNichols' status and, again, how much trust fantasy managers do have in D'Onta Foreman. If he's still out there on waivers, though, go pick him up. Even though they got the Patriots next week and then a bye, you want to have what could be the best running back for the Titans, at least until Derrick Henry returns, and Foreman definitely trending in that direction. All right, we could spend a whole show talking about the guys that we like but don't necessarily love. Check out our Fantasy Football Today podcast. We talked today about guys like Terry McLaurin, Mike Williams, DJ Moore, Tyler Lockett. There are plenty of other guys that we spend a lot of time a little bit more in depth on. So check out our Fantasy Football Today podcast wherever podcasts are found. We're going to take